Howdy friends, vinyl community. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Vinyl Survivor. Hope you're all doing well. I've been on vacation all week, been enjoying myself, been relaxing, went out and did a bunch of photography and just really enjoyed myself. So hope everyone's doing well. It's good to sort of take a break a couple times a year from work and just relax. So I'm glad that I'm able to do that. It's really nice. Been spinning a lot of records as well. And wanted to do at least one episode of the Vinyl Survivor here and try to knock down this pile. There's always a pile of stuff here waiting to be talked about, but I just don't have trouble finding the time to make videos all the time. So with work and actually listening to music and doing my other hobbies, it's just tough to get to. But let's go ahead and get into this episode. It's been a long time since we did a Vinyl Survivor, so here we go. 107 maybe we're on, I think, if I remember correctly. So here we go. First thing we have here is a piece of jazz fusion from Japan. This is the band titled 9DW. They're out of Tokyo, Japan, I believe. And they do sort of an electro fusion, funky kind of jazz. Very interesting. They are on the Wax Poetics label. So if you're familiar with the type of stuff that Wax Poetics does, and if you're into hip hop kind of stuff, this is gonna work pretty well for you as sort of a blend between hip hop and funk and jazz. Sort of, it blurs the lines between a lot of those things, and it's a really cool piece of music. 2 LP set here. I believe Wax Poetics released this for US for the US in 2009. It was recorded in 2007 and 2008. They did a limited run of 1,500 of this, and I have number 1228. And I think Sean, he doesn't make videos anymore. Sean, the teacher, it's been a while since he made any videos, but he turned us on to this group, and this was they had a really good deal on this on the Wax Poetics website, so I picked it up, and I'm glad I did. It's a 2 LP set pressed on clear vinyl. And just really nice. As I said, it blurs the lines between funk and jazz and hip hop, and has all those kind of influences in it, and it's really nice. So I'm glad I got that. If you think something like that would interest you, go ahead and give this band a sample. I think they're worth listening to. All right, next thing I have to talk about is a 2015 release, getting near the end of 2015. I haven't picked up too many 2015 releases, but this was one I got based on a lot of hype in the music community in general, and that is Father John Misty's I Love You, Honey Bear on Sub Pop Records. And yeah, this is one that I've talked about in the past. I struggle with it. I don't see what the hype is around this. It's just okay. The lyrics are terrible in my opinion. It's very flourishy and very flowery kind of lyrics that aren't really saying anything of substance, if that makes any sense. It's very pretty lyrically, but he's not actually saying anything that means anything to me anyway. Love the artwork on this. Just awesome artwork. There was a deluxe set of this that has like a pop out that pops up, and there's like a music chip inside of it that plays a song when you open it up, kind of like those greeting cards that we see. But yeah, this is just the normal regular edition of this. Does have a download code. Being on Sub Pop, they usually put Sub Pop does that, and then they have this little booklet, exercises for listening, and it sort of gives these notes on how to listen to these songs, and it's just weird. I don't know. I'm just struggling with this album, as you can tell. Yes, this is actually, I forgot, I thought there was a poster here. This is actually the poster that I was showing you before. Pretty cool poster. And then on the back of this one are the actual lyrics to all the songs. As I said, you can tell that this guy really values his lyrics and his writing and it's almost like one of those grammar nerds that wants to show off how perfect their grammar is and stuff, and it just seems over the top to me. So it's just not really that interesting to me. I'm going to keep it and revisit it a little bit later and just see if my thoughts change on it. But I've never been a big fan of literature in general, and the sort of the perfection of literature, and that kind of Shakespearean type stuff and all that flourishy kind of stuff. Never done anything for me. So yeah, sadly, lyrically, this really puts me off, and it has me struggling to actually listen to the music. The music is good here. I do appreciate it musically, but the lyrics put me off. So yeah, Father John Misty, I love you, Honey Bear. I know I'm in the minority here in not liking this, but it's a struggle for me, but I'm going to keep it around. All right, next up, moving back into the jazz, funk, fusion-y kind of realm here, we have Deodato and Jarrett in concert. Yeah, this one it's sort of moving into, it's very stringy at times, it's very brassy at times. Who does the Bob James sort of adds a lot of brass in this one. Also, who else is on here? John Trapia is on here. So yeah, this is very, very light fusion. Definitely sort of a Sunday morning kind of fusion, in my opinion. Definitely, a Sunday brunch kind of music, in my opinion. Very light and airy and interesting, but it can be something that you can just put on in the background, and it provides a nice sort of base for relaxing. CTI label, Van Gelder and the Dead Wax, as would be expected. So yeah, it's good. It's not anything to pay more than $1 or $2 for, but if you see it and you like fusion jazz, give it a try. It's a nice listen, nice, enjoyable, relaxing kind of thing to put on. All right, next up we got a comedy record. Haven't talked about comedy in a while. We have Mom's Mabley on stage on Chess Records. Mom's Mabley's pretty funny comedian, and I really enjoyed listening to this. Pretty funny stuff. She does some good interactions with the audience and whatnot, and she's really good. I hadn't really listened to Mom's Mabley much before this, and I enjoyed listening to this album, and I do like collecting some comedy records here and there. This is on the Chess label. It's sort of a black with silver lettering label. So yeah, Mom's Mabley on stage. That is a keeper for me as well. All right, next thing we have here is the most recent album from Elton John, titled The Diving Board. I believe this was 2013 is when this was put out. Talked about this in the past, how much I love this album, and this was something I bought on CD, had on CD for a while, and finally around my birthday this year, I decided to treat myself and buy this on vinyl, and I'm really glad I did. I love this album. It's kind of a return to form to the earlier Elton John. A lot more rock and roll, almost proggy at times. Very good stuff here. Some nice printed inserts with lyrics and photos on them. 2 LP set on Columbia, or Capitol Records, Mercury Records. And this was pressed at GZ Vinyl in Czech Republic, 180 gram. Sounds good. I'm sure it's from a digital source though. Yeah, I love this album, as I said. It's a great Elton John album. If you had sort of lost interest in Elton John over the recent years and wanted and enjoy his earlier stuff, at least give this a sample. I think it's a great album, and I really love it a lot. So obviously that is staying in the collection. All right, next up, got some 80s stuff here. Haven't talked about the 80s in a while, and it's something I definitely love. And this was an artist I certainly knew well, but an album I was not familiar with, and that is Corey Hart's Fields of Fire, 1986 on this one. And yeah, as I said, I was really surprised by this one. I wasn't expecting to like it, but the whole album is really good here. Really good musically, interesting songs. Definitely very 80s, very tight production. But just really a good batch of songs, and I really enjoyed this quite a bit. Pictures of the band, Corey, on the EMI label. So yeah, Corey Hart, Fields of Fire, surprisingly good album for me. It really, if you like that sort of 80s pop rock, radio pop kind of sound, give it a chance. It's a good album throughout, I think. I was, as I said, I was surprised. It wasn't just, the hits and that was it. The whole album is really enjoyable. All right, next up, an album and an artist that is very well loved and often talked about in the vinyl community, at least in years past. And that is Keith Jarrett. This is his famous Cologne concert. There's a whole story that goes behind this album, how it almost didn't happen, the troubles that were going on behind the scenes, the piano he was playing was not in tune properly. It wasn't the piano he wanted to play. It was the wrong type of piano. He was sick. He had the flu or something while he was playing, but somehow this just with all those troubles that went on behind the scenes, somehow this just incredible piece of improvisational music came out of it, and this piece of music is well loved, and I was, even with the hype, I was still blown away by how powerful it was, and how much it grabbed me. And yeah, this is just awesome. I love it. As I said, very improvisational, but very, you can just sort of feel the emotions he's going through as he's playing these notes and chords, and whatever happens, whatever comes out it feels very live and very right there, and just, yeah, I love this to death. I'm really glad finally got around to listening to the Keith Jarrett Cologne concert. This is a U.S. pressing on ECM Records. This is probably the most well-known ECM record of all time, probably the best-selling ECM record of all time. Number 1064, so the 64th release on ECM Records, and probably helped keep them going for a little extra longer than they could have. But yeah, Keith Jarrett, the Cologne concert, it lives up to the hype in my opinion. I love it. I'm enjoying. Got another piece of Keith Jarrett here coming in the near future, and yeah, love listening to his improvisational stuff that. You can't tell if he's making it up right there, or if it's who knows where it's coming from, but it's really cool to listen to. And all right, next up, moving on to something quite different, we have the soundtrack to the movie Gridlocked, which featured Tupac Shakur. Just a fun little pickup. I picked this up in a dollar bin at a flea market a couple years back. It was just a crazy kind of movie. Tupac never got the respect he deserves as a talented performer, and not just a hip-hop artist, but an actor and a poet and an artist in general. I enjoyed the movie. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I'm glad to sort of have the soundtrack to it is fun. 2 LP set. Custom labels there. All right, next we have a classic of the metal hard rock genre. Doesn't need much talking about, and that's Metallica's Black Album, self-titled Metallica. If you haven't heard this, what rock are you living under? That's all I gotta say about that. This is a recent pressing of this on Metallica's own Blackened label, and just an album I love and I wanted to have on vinyl, so this is another one I got for myself for my birthday. Just wanted to be able to have this one on the shelf and listen to it. It does definitely sound better than the CD, so I appreciate that. So it's Metallica, self-titled. Not much needs to be said about that one. I think everybody has heard that at this point. And last but definitely not least, as I said, Keith Jarrett. Awesome improvisational piano work. This is his album Staircase, ECM number 1090. 2 LP set again here. This one sounds a little more written, a little less improvisational. Yeah, it sounds like these pieces were worked out beforehand a little more. There's a little more of a flow and a sort of fleshed out feeling to the pieces, but still awesome solo piano work that I just really love. This is a 2 LP set again, as I said, on ECM, US pressing again for this one, and just more awesome work. Keith Jarrett is one where you can still find him in the dollar bins and bargain bins here and there, and if you like solo piano jazz type stuff that's sort of improvisational, then give him a try if you haven't already. I'm really digging this kind of stuff. I've been getting into a modern artist called Nils Fromm, who I think pulls a lot of inspiration from Keith Jarrett. I just love that kind of music. Loving the music. So that is episode, what I believe is 107 of the Vinyl Survivor. Hope you enjoyed it. All 10 records made it this time. 10 great records for the most part. And hope you enjoyed it. Leave me some comments down below. Please subscribe if you're not already and be kept up to date with future vinyl videos, as well as beer reviews, photography, whatever else I feel like making. This is a variety channel, so hope you enjoyed it. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Have a great day. Cheers.